Hello, everybody. This is Carrie O'Donnell, Tarot Soul Writer, and I am here to spill the tea on the Midnight Brew. This will be political and current event questions tonight. So if you have a question, don't forget to put it in the chat in all caps if you could, because I go through the chats very quickly, and that way it stands out for me. And I hope you're all having a good week. I can see how everyone's coming in. Let me put the chat here. I got, oh yeah, Leo smiles. Hi. I always think of my cat Leo when I hear that name. We got good evening from Scotland, the Virgin Islands. Hello, Massachusetts. Anne, nice to see you again. Philadelphia. Hello from Harrisburg. You got three cats in the conversation. Hi, three cats. Eclectic. Nice to see you all. I know people are going to start rolling in. Do please put your questions in. Greetings from PA. Hi, Susan. Good to hear from you. Evening, Pegasus. It's been one of those weeks again. Good to see you, Sandy. Hello. And hi from New Jersey. So today I got the diagnosis on my computer and it is official. Please, let's have a moment of silence for Carrie's all-in-one computer, which has bit the dust. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it's over. Hi from San Diego, North Carolina, Michigan. So yeah, I was really disappointed as I spent the day looking for a new one. So I did buy a new computer. And when things are delivered and such, I'll actually be all completely set up again. Ironically, I think around the 20th, and I could be wrong. Astrologers out there, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the end of Mercury retrograde. So I literally, this whole time, have had technology problems. And this never happens to me. I don't put much stock in the whole Mercury retrograde thing because sometimes I think we can like convince ourselves that something's going to happen and then it will. So I'm just superstitious that way. But it really hit me like for real this time. Mercury stands direct that day. And that's the day that my final piece to my computer station is being delivered. So I will be completely set up the next day where I am going direct. Isn't that funny? That's just crazy. It's crazy. Thank you for saying it. So sorry it bit the dust. The only bad thing about it, I mean, here's the good news. The good news is the tech guy said he's transferring, the hard drive was transferring. So all my information, all my data is going to be saved. I mean, most of my stuff is on the cloud anyway, but he was able to pretty much save everything. And I found that was a blessing. So I'm ready to go. It's just, it's an expense you really don't need in these times. I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir as we're all watching our pennies at this time. And hello from Paisley, Scotland, Colorado. I miss Colorado. Chicago. I think I said Chicago. Maui, Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello. San Antonio. I'm sorry, I'm going really fast. So I'm sorry if I missed some of you. Ontario, Canada. Yeah, and I'm checking off some questions now. Milton, Mass. Go UMass. Woohoo! I know, it's not really my alma mater, but two of my sons went to UMass. So I'm like a UMass mom. So I'm all about UMass. So go UMass. Hello from Long Island. Notice how Lynn spelled that out for me after I messed up the last time. Yeah, and Beth with the computer. Yeah, well, of course he could save it. Well, I wasn't sure. Like, I wasn't sure if I had a corrupted hard drive or something. I was like worst case scenario, but I got lucky. I did get. Yeah, computers are not cheap. Can I just say before I get started, like I bought this all-in-one computer. It was a Lenovo, which I usually have good luck with. And I bought it about 2.5 years ago. And I spent a good chunk of change because I need a lot of power. to do the kind of video work that I do. And the same computer now, like pretty much the same, you can't buy exactly the same, but like the same power, the same processing speed, same amount of RAM that I had, all of that. It's like $1,200 more than what I spent 2.5 years ago. What the heck? Like, I actually couldn't afford the computer that I bought is less powerful because I just couldn't afford the same kind of power that I had bought 2.5 years ago. So there you go. There's our economy in real time. Because of course, Lenovo is coming from China. A lot of that's coming from China. So El Paso, Texas. Hello. Hello from New York. And I am just that. All right. So I think I'm ready. I've gotten out all my computer woes. It's been a day, but we are ready to go. Hello, York, PA. So put your questions. I start a bunch of them. We'll start from the peanut gallery, as we say, and then we'll move to the banners, those who posted on the board. Once I'm in the zone, I might not be able to interact with the chat as much, but I'm going to go back and kind of see what you've responded. At least I can see some things in front of me, but I might miss a few things, so just bear with me. So let's start with Buddy Byrne. What is the energy around Zelensky offering DTJ help fighting a bully? All right, let's see what we got. What is the energy around Zelensky offering DTJ? What's going on there? So I don't know the story here for DTJ. Like, who's the bully? Can someone tell me the story? Because I actually don't know the story. Let's see what we got. Scheme. Okay, so I don't know the story, but I'm getting an offer here to help with the Knight of Cups. And it's kind of like a loose hello, like, okay, I'm offering help. There's something here I'm not trusting 100%. Let me just, I think some things are coming through in the chat too. All right, so 45, I think Zelensky offered to help in the war with drones, maybe. Okay, was that it? So it's kind of like, I don't know, I'm getting like help, but it feels very loose. Like I'm getting more the water aspect of this card, and like it could flow, or maybe there's something behind it. Maybe it's a very loose helping. Here is a dictator. So this is either Putin or this is Donald Trump. Okay, so he was helping fight the drones. Okay, so an offer to help the tyrant. So that's what this is got to be. Then, as I'm moving toward the outcome of the energy, look at that. This is an answer to the energy, the moon reversed. That's crazy town energy. That's delusion and illusion, and it's my card for mental illness. It's my card for when you're like just trying to suck the life out of someone. Just, it's not good intuition. It's crazy. Again, with the water. So I don't know what this is. I feel like this flowing kind of feel here. And then I get healing with the temperance. So this offer seems to have something to do with the crazy autocrat, the crazy dictator, which, I mean, that could be Putin or it could be Donald Trump. I'm assuming it's Donald Trump since this is about drones for the war we've started. All right, so someone's saying, yeah, with the drones, DJT and the Pentagon blew Zelensky off in August when he first offered to help with the drones. Ah, interesting. Maybe he was crazy to do it because this is like all crazy. He's crazy, but he's trying to like heal the situation. So I feel like there's an attempt here to heal the crazy or heal the crazy energy. So I hope that answers the question. So let's see what here. Yeah, Ukraine has been an expert in drone warfare, and Zelensky offered a team of experts to help the U.S. So far, Trump hasn't accepted the offer. Maybe that's the liquid, though. Look, even within this Morgan Greer, and you got the temperance with the liquid again. So it's like, so I'm not sure if he will take him up on his offer, but I feel like the energy is more to protect the world at large, including what's going on with Zelensky and what he has to fight. So it's to benefit him and to try to calm the crazy. That's basically what I'm getting there. So thank you. And thank you for everyone for telling me what's going down with the story. Been out of it as far as the news. All right. What can the cards tell us about what shenanigans, interference, or suppression Cleta Mitchell, a Republican attorney, is working on as it relates to the November 2026 elections? What is Mitchell working on concerning the election? Is she working on any shenanigans? Yeah. All right. Now, she's a Republican attorney, Mitchell. And is she involved with a specific state, or is she just working on like the federal election? I'm not sure which, because I am getting a queen here that I don't think is her. So I was wondering if it was a candidate or something to that effect. But the first thing I get is the high priestess. She's working in the dark. Secrets. Oh, she was on the Georgia call. Okay, because the very next thing, the secrets, is there's a queen here, the Queen of Cups. This queen is not Mitchell. Okay, so there's some other woman here that she's concerned with or working with in the dark or working for in the dark. She doesn't want the Republicans to lose. She feels that the Republicans are not going to be successful, so she has to work with, I keep getting a woman to become successful. And then here's the shenanigans. We got that moon reverse card again. So the moon reverse is, like I said, this is crazy energy. So she may be trying to cause chaos or disinformation. So maybe the shenanigans are more interference, possibly disinformation, could be something that she's trying to do in order to create success. So she worked to make it hard for college students to vote. Okay, so like the suppression, because I feel like this is like chaos and, creating that chaotic energy. So it's not like a direct, like I can't say too many things here on YouTube, but it's not like a direct thing. It's more like create the chaos. And I feel like she's either working on behalf of a woman. Oh, could the woman be Bondi? Yes, it could. I just got chills on that, to be honest. It could be Bondi. And the fact that she came up as a Queen of Cups, it could be because she made a request. Because sometimes my cups can be communication. Interesting. So yeah, she's up to no good is what I'm getting for sure. Right, so let me just erase that so I can keep track of everything. And let's go here. Since this is an illegal war, will our soldiers stand down? I think a number of people have asked this question, so they stand down. And I just want to say, hi, Nat. I didn't see you before, but hi. Thanks for helping out. She does a great job as a moderator. Will our soldiers stand down? there's a mixed bag here. Do I see a mass, like big, giant, swaths of the military saying we will, not go forward? No. So if you were thinking that, like the entire US military says no, or we're not going to send people or whatever, no, I do not see that. But I do get these little pockets of resistance. So I get this Three of Swords reversed. So they want to heal something. There's so much heartache here. And I think this is directly related to the war. And I'm going to show you a card in a minute that kind of shows that a lot of people are not going to stand down. But I have the Page of Cups is reversed. People are really emotional about this. This is more the soldiers. It's funny that it's young people. So I feel like the younger soldiers, the ones that maybe are newly enlisted, maybe not the soldiers who are the tried and true, many of them are the ones having the hardest time. They are coming up close and personal to their own mortality. They want to do something, but they don't feel like they're going to be protected or supported in that. And a lot of emotion is coming up with that. And then, here we have the Five of Pentacles, and then it looks like a wounded soldier right there, or someone who is wounded and trying to get care. There are losses here. There are people who are out in the cold. There are people who are wounded. So this makes me feel like many of the men are fighting. They're not standing down. They don't feel supported enough. And they are burdened with the Ten of Wands. This is a huge, heavy burden for them, what they're doing, but they don't feel supported enough in the trenches to make that call. And I guess what I'm getting from that is the people are the higher ups, the ones that could really support them and say, this is what we're doing. I do not get them standing down, unfortunately. But maybe that makes sense, because there were a lot of military that basically was replaced. A lot of the really good men and women have quit, basically. Yeah, poor soldiers. They did not sign up for this. And a lot of them are very torn. But that page makes me feel like it's the younger people, maybe not the seasoned vets. And of course, they need the seasoned vets, the ones to make the call. So I'm just checking off a few more. Hello, everybody. Hello from Illinois. Oh, I'm finding some questions that are not in caps, but that was luck. So try to put them in caps if you can. That would really be helpful. So let's see what we got here. The DNC has sued the Trump administration for information related to planning to put troop or agents at the polling places in November 2026. Will this lawsuit illuminate any potential plans by the Trump administration and Republican Party? All right. Let's take a look. Will this lawsuit illuminate any potential plans by the Trump administration or the Republican Party? The DNC lawsuit. So here are the secrets around the government doings. And I do get this card that concerns me, the Six of Pentacles. That's like a give and take kind of energy, balancing the scales. This makes me feel like not all things will be illuminated. There might be, I don't want to say a payout, but a deal or some kind of a deal to balance the scales. So maybe some things get illuminated, but some things don't get illuminated. This is like classic DNC kind of stuff. And then the final card is that Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is being in a weakened position with anxiety. This is like I'm trying to be king of the hill, right? This one is I'm in a weakened position. So I don't feel they're going to be in a position of strength. I think they're going to try to make some sort of a deal. And I don't think the lawsuit is going to reveal all. It might reveal a few little things, but not the kind of stuff that we really need revealed, unfortunately. So I don't think that lawsuit's going to amount to much as far as the things that we need to know. Hello, Lori. Would you please read on Bill Barr, who, as DJT's AG, ordered New Mexico's state investigation into J.E. Zorro Ranch closed in 2019 after discrediting the Mueller report that spring. And, something's fishy in Denmark. Something's fishy in Denmark. Yeah, it's very Shakespearean, huh? So I'm not sure what I'm reading on Bill Barr. So I guess was he, like, why he did those things? Why did he do that? I'm going to say, like, why did he order Zorro Ranch closed in 2019 after discrediting the Mueller report? We'll just see what comes up around Bill Barr and this Zorro Ranch situation. What were your intentions here? All right, so something was coming up. And here is the Queen of Rods reversed. This can be angry women. So it could be something's coming out about angry women. It could be women that might have been involved in the ranch's shenanigans. I'm trying to think because this is 2019. 2020, though, that was Biden, Harris, because sometimes this is my Harris card, but Harris was the VP, so I don't think it would be her. So this has got to be angry women that may have been coming out at the time. Maybe there would be some things that were revealed that he was afraid at that particular time, some kind of information. Then I have the Knight of Swords reversed. This to me is about doing something swiftly without even really thinking. There is fighting here. There are delays, all kinds of things. So I feel like there was a quick decision like, Bill, you need to take care of this and you need to take care of this quick because X, Y, and Z is coming out or could come out. And we need to take action on something quickly, impulsively. And that's what I'm feeling there. And then the concluding card here is the Five of Swords reversed. Now, when I get this card reversed, sometimes it's a card of I can't even speak now. To bury. Why can't I say burying? I can't say the word for some reason, but to bury, putting it underground, to repair, all the rewords, to renew or rework. But I think in this case, it's like we need to redo the situation. We need to remake this image. We need to bury what we don't want to see. So, yeah, I feel like there was an order here. There's an order. The cards didn't say who it came from, but the whole narrative, the whole story in the cards is as if he was ordered to take care of this. And it was very spontaneous and very quick is what I'm getting. So I did get that here. Let me just catch up with the chat. Hello, everybody. 453 in the room. And I am getting a few more questions. So I just want to check off a few more. Okay. So let's take a look at the next one. Do you see any other countries joining in the Iran war? God, how many countries are actually part of this now? It's quite a few, right? There were a lot of nations, but I'm assuming you're thinking of the big ones. Countries like China, if they're not involved yet directly, or Russia, or some European countries. Again, I don't know what countries are already involved, even indirectly, because I feel like everyone sort of jumped in really quick and took sides. And of course, all the Middle Eastern countries, or at least many of them, had to deal with it. So let's see if there's any more coming on board, or if this is fizzling out more. Because if more are coming on board, I'm going to get expansive energy, is what I would expect to feel. Oh, Lordy. I'm going to say there's going to be some more involvement. But I do get the Ace of Cups here. So much emotion, so much emotion. Of course, you've got the Dove here, the Dove of Peace. So many people want that peace, are fighting for that peace. But there's confusion, illusion, and delusion here. And people aren't, I think this is the American people. I think these cards are standing for how the U.S. is seeing things. I mean, maybe part of the world too, because there are parts of the world that are also getting disinformation, but people are confused. People don't understand why this is happening. We just wanted peace. So much illusion. There's also a choice to make with that Seven of Cups. Other countries have to make a choice. What do we do here? Do we keep the peace? What choice do we make? And then when we move up to the conclusion, we have that Page of Cups reversed. A lot of a decision that's made half-heartedly is kind of what I want to say. It's not direct. It's not direct energy. So this could be like, well, maybe we offer arms to a country, or kind of like when we were talking about Zelensky and the drones. There may be ways that countries join on board. In indirect ways is the energy of that. And look how it ends. It ends with the Devil. That to me makes me feel like they're going to be forced to. This is the kind of energy we're dealing with. This is not a war that, well, to me, no war makes sense, but this war especially not. Nobody has articulated why. We know why internally. We have a madman at the wheel, and we know that the Ep files are behind this and other shenanigans are behind this. So we understand that, but the world itself has to make decisions. They're like, how do we deal with that energy without causing a bigger conflict? So I want to answer the question is yes. There will probably be other large, important countries joining in on this for the purpose of subduing that devil energy and trying to indirectly help the conflict. I think the intentions are good, though. Like I'm not getting that the countries that join, they all have different agendas, they just said, but I'm not getting that their intentions are the evil. It's, everyone wants to make their money and whatever. So everyone has a different agenda, but it's not like the energy of the devil. I know I hate to say this, but that's us. Not us personally, but you know what I mean. Unfortunately, the U.S. is not the good guy here. And it's so hard to deal with that. It's hard for me to deal with that. That is what we're dealing with. Oh, wait a minute. I already did that one with the Queen of Mitchell. So let me get that one off. All right. Pam Bondi said going to start on a people of Antifa. Oh, really? Wow, she wants to unalive people of Antifa? That's interesting. Trump and Hegseth sending 1,500 troops to Minnesota. Are members of Congress leaving, knowing we'll lose in the midterms, and will Congress be dismantled? All right. So are members of Congress leaving, knowing we'll lose in midterms? Or I'm assuming knowing they will lose in the midterms? And will Congress be dismantled? You know what? I want to focus on, will Congress be dismantled? Because I think that that is the important essence right there. I mean, are they going to try to dismantle Congress? No, I don't get that Congress will be dismantled. The first thing that we get here is justice. So justice is going to prevail. The courts are going to prevail, surprisingly. Who knew, right? So I do feel like that's going to happen. The Four of Cups is here. And usually this is a sense of apathy or, I don't really want to do anything. Someone called it the hangover card once. It's kind of like, after all the craziness, maybe they are going to have a little bit of a hangover. The people in the Republican Party, they're not really going to fight this. So when justice is coming, there's no fight left in the Republicans. And then I do get the temperance is reverse, a lack of balance, but then it ends with the lover's card, a deal. And whoops, I forgot YouTube. There's a deal with the lover's card. So yeah, I feel like what I'm seeing here is this lack of balance is once justice starts coming, they're going to step back and they're going to make a deal in some way and try to get us back into balance. So I don't get Congress dismantled, but that is really scary about Bondi. Holy cow. Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at another one. Could this Iran war be good in a way, like bringing things to a head with this administration? So I think, Patty, today, how I'm going to ask this to kind of get at that or kind of see what will happen is I'm going to ask Spirit, what is the good, if anything, that will come from this war in Iran? Is there any good? And if so, what good will come from this conflict with Iran? All right. You've got the Nine of Wands. This is protections, because this is like the old soldier who has been wounded before and is going to make sure he's not wounded again. And that's us. At the end of this, we're going to be wounded in some way. And we are going to put up protections. Maybe this has something to do with constitutional amendments or certain ways that politicians are vetted to make sure this never happens again. There's some sort of protections that are put up that's good. It's positive. That's going to come out of this. We have the Four of Swords, and that's the coffin card. So I do feel like I'm kind of feeling that this is about a leader unalived or a leader gone, okay? Back into the shadows, under the sword. All right, so we are going to lose a leader that's part of the problem. We'll just leave it at that. I'm sure you can fill in the blanks. I get the Ace of Cups. And the first thing that I kind of got there was that expression, draining the swamp. There is a sense that that cup of abundance is going to be drained. Unfortunately, they've drained our treasury, unfortunately. But I do feel like it's going to force us to really move in and get rid of the people, like not just the leader, which has fallen, but to go in there and really go after corruption and root it out. And then I do have, now bear with me here, because I'm going with this economic thing. It's the Fool card reversed. there are a couple things I'm getting here. What's good is we will not be foolish. To me, this is the fool, like foolishness. When I get it reversed, for me, it means not being foolish. Like I will not be fooled again. I am not going to fall for your disinformation or your propaganda. I'm not going to fall for the fool again. People are going to have their eyes open, and that is good. That is going to bring in something better. But the other thing that I'm getting with both these cards at the end is I think America's biggest hit for us and our psyche will be our economy. We are not at the end of all of this, the end, not just the Iranian war, but the end of this administration. We're going to be knocked down quite a few pegs. And I bet you're thinking to yourselves, how in the world, Carrie, is that good? That's not good, especially if we're going to struggle economically. And I think it's definitely going to be a hardship for many people, but it turns out to be good because I'm feeling like our priorities are shifting. Our priorities are shifting for the better. We are going to rebuild our wealth, but it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be how we flaunted it, or there's some wisdom here behind it. There's some sense of, and again, there'll always be greedy people. There'll always be rich and greedy people. I'm sure of it, as humanity is always like that, right? But I think collectively, we're going to learn some valuable lessons about what's important in life, truly important in life. Less materialistic. I know that's like a big question. That's a bigger question than I thought it would be, but, and I think I saw some people, I missed it in the chat, and I apologize because the chat's in front of me, and I saw someone say there's nothing good that can come from this conflict with the children that died and so forth. And you're right, like the conflict itself is horrific, but if it can bring us a change in perspective so that this can never happen again, and I kind of got that from the protections, at least on our end, that we would do things differently since we're the ones who started this. That's good for the future. Let's put it that way. It's good for the future. I'm having trouble talking tonight. What the heck? All right. Keg's Breath is being investigated for mixing religion into the military. I know, this is like crazy. Allegedly, he said Dumpy Pants is anointed and claiming Armageddon with the Iran war. Will he be stopped? Will Keg's Breath be stopped? And I saw like a funny post on Blue Sky where someone said, yeah, I'm going to pass on Armageddon. It's a hard pass for me, Armageddon. No, but it's insane. It's actually insane. I don't understand. These people are just so far in delusion. It's hard for me to comprehend. Will Keg's Breath be stopped here? Yes, but I'm going to get real with you about what's going to happen, and I'm talking in general senses here, as far as things that are going to happen before we get to the point of stopping him, because we're starting with the Crazy Town card. It seems to be another one of the cards of the evening. The moon reversed. It's insane. He's insane. All right, he's out of control and he's insane. I do have the 9 of Swords reversed. Now, this would be an ending. The reversal, I think, would be stopping him in some way before a huge ending for us. So if he's looking at Armageddon, he's not going to get to Armageddon. I feel like this would be Armageddon. This would be, we're going to stop him before we get to that point. They are going to delay. This is my delay card. The Ace of Swords reverse for me would be like a huge block. This is more like a delay. When I'm getting something like this, I feel like there are people, whether that's the military themselves. I know we just read on, will they stand down? They might not stand down, but they might delay some things, mess some things up, throw a few wrenches in the mix. So there are people, not just the military, but in general in the government, who are going to try their hardest to delay any kind of worst case scenario with this guy while he's still in power. And then the outcome is mourning. And what I feel here is the aftermath of these conflicts that he is starting, this whole Armageddon, Trump as God kind of thing. And as you see, the 3 cards are lost. That means that we're mourning. There are losses here. There are people who are, all the things we talk about that come from war. There are some horrors here. But there are 2 cups left. There's no Armageddon, but there's damage. He's going to do some damage. And then we get him. There's some delays, and then they finally get him somehow. Now, I didn't ask how that would go down. I think that's like another question. Oh, my whole window is shaking. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, we kind of get through. We make it through, and we're going to rebuild. And that's really weird because my entire house just shook. What the heck? I was like, what's that? I don't know if you heard it online, but my whole window, and it was like knocking on the roof or something. Yikes. I'll have to check that out. What the heck? So yeah, that's Heg's breath. I know. Someone said earthquake. We wouldn't have an earthquake. It is windy out there. So maybe it's the wind. Maybe something like got blown on the house or something. Because it is windy. Because I didn't feel that, although we had an earthquake once, and it did shake the whole house like that. Oh, you did hear it? Okay. So it was loud, right? I went, like, what the heck? I'll have to check afterwards if there was anything here, but it could be maybe the wind. Oh, someone blew the gutter off. And it is windy out there. I'm hearing the wind right now. I think it might have been something from the wind. Yeah, it was like the whole window was like, so that's crazy. See, I'm so easily distracted. All right, I recently heard that Oprah Winfrey was involved with Epstein. Is this true? I have such mixed feelings about Oprah. Like, as a billionaire person, I always felt like she was kind of the same in attitude in some ways. And a lot of her early spirituality stuff, I mean, now, kind of new agey, gimmicky kind of stuff. But at the time, I was new to all this. I was actually attracted to or introduced to some people in books that kind of started my journey at the same time. So mixed feelings with her. Yeah, I never forgave Oprah for Dr. Phil. Yeah, like after like that stuff, I was just like, but the mixed feelings is like, how could someone like Oprah, who ended up turning out to do the things that she did or to support the people that ended up being really horrible people, and she might not be the best person either, at the same time started a lot of people toward the path. I know that sounds crazy, but I mean, it is true of a lot of people. So let's see what we got. Was she involved with Epps? There's a real like a Bill Clinton kind of vibe here, but not as bad as him because who knows with Bill. But what I always felt with Bill, I just have to preface this since I'm making an analogy here. Although Bill might have been more involved with older women of age, we'll just say, I'm not getting anything like that with Oprah. Like, I don't get any kind of activity like that involved with Oprah, but I'm getting more like what they were saying. And what has come out from what they said in front of Congress or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of fundraisers and things like that. I think Epps was like this magnet for the rich and famous. And some people knew what he was about, some people didn't. I mean, the deeper, darker stuff. I'm getting kind of that donor feel with Oprah. I mean, it starts with the Nine of Cups reverse, which to me is excesses, excess, like excess of everything, excess money, excess, whatever. And that could have been Oprah, could have been Epps. Like she is in that world, right? She's connected because she's in this world of excess. And she may have, been attracted to that, as probably most humans might be. And then I get the Queen of Cups. The good news is she had a good heart. Like that's where I'm not getting any kind of illegal kind of activities kind of thing. But I do get with these Four of Wands, this is like weekend get-togethers, soiree kind of. I got invited to a party. I got to talk to him about donating to such and such and such and such. Now, don't get me wrong. She had her own agenda. She has her own ego. She's, all the things that I feel come along with being a billionaire. Like you don't get to that point without being filled with some things that aren't the best traits. Okay. So she was involved with some kind of parties or get-togethers. And I get like a donor feel. And the reason why is at the end, I am getting that Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords to me is a limited kind of thing. But here's the thing with the Eight of Swords, she's blindfolded. And I feel like what they're saying here is like, they're showing me those monkeys, see no evil, hear no evil. Like, that kind of funny thing that you see. Like, I feel like she knew in her heart, like she was very intuitive. She might've seen something. She just didn't put it, or she put it all together, but she kind of kept quiet about it. Like, I'm going to just pretend I didn't see that, or I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that because I want the excess and I want the invitation and I want the donations or whatever else. I want to be in the circle of the rich and famous. So, was she involved? Yes. I'm going to answer yes, she was involved. Is she involved to the depth of in the deepest and darkest parts of this? I'm going to say no. But she was part of the trappings of this system. And if she saw something, and I think she did, she might have saw something or heard something, and she's like, oh, I think this could be true. And she didn't say anything, the monies. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting around Oprah. Yeah, you think it would be different from someone who says they were abused themselves. I know. Isn't that the worst part? That's on her though. Like that's, and I'm sure I'm kind of feeling like her biggest challenge is to not be in denial about that. She might use that as a crutch and say, well, it was because of what I experienced that I felt like I couldn't say anything. I got triggered. My trauma all over again, like the whole thing. But I feel like it's an excuse because the thing with the Eight of Swords is you have the power to unleash yourself from those entanglements. You had the power all along, kind of is the lesson there. And she chose to stay tied up. So yeah, it's pretty tragic. Do you see a Republican senator leaving the planet soon? It's a general question, so we'll just ask it in a general way. The only thing about soon and the guides is for them, soon could be like 10 years from now. Guides are like on a different wavelength. So why don't I say, do I see a Republican senator leaving the planet over the next 3 months? Because to me, that would be soon. right. Someone's in their twilight years. So this would be someone who's very old. And of course, I say that, and it's like, I think most of the Senate is very old. This is an older person who's sick presently, who's currently sick. And he's showing up as the tyrant or the autocrat. And someone who was a harbinger of like denying justice. And yeah, someone said, Mitch, I'm feeling this might be Mitch. And then afterwards, there's a new start and a new beginning. I'm going to say probably Mitch, unless there's someone else that surprises us. Because a lot of them may have gotten in the way, but this could be Mitch. But he's presently already out of balance. He's already ill. And there's a real new start afterwards. I think about turtle soup. You guys crack me up. So yeah, there's a lot of people on their last legs here. I mean, I'll never know for sure. None of my guides are like, I can't predict death or birth exactly. I can't do it. I try and it backfires on me. I'll ask the question, but the timing's probably off, but definitely someone's getting ready to go. Do you think the U.S. will be bombed directly by Iran? I think I'm going to use my prediction deck for this. We'll see what happens. I think the U.S. will be bombed directly by Iran. I'm going to say no. Let me just put out a couple tarot cards as a clarifier. But I think what I'm feeling here feels more like terrorist cells or something small. But the question was directly like, here they come, or here's a missile, or the things that we're doing to them. Well, there is a battle. Walking away from battle. This is a tough one. I feel like there is some energy around that. But I think based on the prediction deck, I'm going to go with something that's smaller, maybe indirect as opposed to direct, because I get the earthquake, shakeup, and the volcano mountain. So volcanoes, it's like an explosion, right? Like all of a sudden something goes off and it shakes some things up. And to me, that makes me feel like they're showing me the Boston bombing event that happened years ago. I feel like there's something that might happen like that and spreading and mutating. So this is something that might spread, or you might have a little something here, a little something there, and you're going to see those things in the news. And when I asked for clarification, I did get my Five of Swords and my Nine of Swords. Those are some heavy cards. And then I get secrets with the High Priestess. So to me, there is energy or maybe an attempted plan. But my gut is saying then they're not going to be successful, or they're not going to be able to make that happen. But I think what very possibly could happen if this is allowed to continue on, because I feel like I did a whole reading on the Iran conflict. And I felt like even if we stop everything on our end, something's going to continue out there. Like they're going to hold their vendetta. And they are going to get their due one way or another, even if they wait on it. Even if it's 10 years from now, 20 years from now, it's like I'm feeling this like revenge kind of thing from them. So maybe that smaller thing is, okay, we might do something to get our revenge, eye for an eye, that kind of thing. But I do not feel in my gut they'll be successful at a direct bombing. That's just my feel, but the cards are pretty heavy. So we'll see how this unfolds. I think there are a lot of different paths here. And I hope that we can get this under control sooner than later. The time is of the essence here with this. We can't let this, it has to be kind of pulled back as soon as possible so we can limit the destruction that could happen. All right. Are there any Democratic candidates running who are really Republicans in secret? Any Democratic candidates running who are really Republicans in secret? I want to say yes right away. Even before the cards. So I'm going to stay with yes. I think there are some. There's been a collaboration with some dark money situations here with the Three of Pentacles. But here's the good news. The delusion is kind of lifted because it's in reversal. People are going to be a little bit more practical. And we have the Magician making something happen. There's a lot of energy of the people trying to make the right things happen, the right candidates and so forth for their agenda. And there is that weakened energy here, a sense that they might not be completely successful. So although there may be Democratic candidates who are running and they might secretly have taken money from donors or have a more Republican agenda, I feel like they're not going to be successful. There's a lot that's going to happen before we even get to that point with the election. I know it's around the corner, but I feel like a world of things are going to happen before then is my feeling. And they're either not going to be successful, they're not going to be won, or things will be revealed in some way to foil their plans. So that's good. So we're getting close to the end here. Let me see if I can find a good ending question. Let's see. So many like good ones. I'm sorry that the hour goes so fast. And I don't know, it's crazy how fast it goes. And I wish I could answer all your questions, but it's hard. Let's see. So let me just look at the live chat. Yeah, it is a quick hour, isn't it? I know someone said Fetterman. That's the first person I was thinking of with that question. That's so funny. I want to take this one that just came in. Are drones coming for California, or is this a false alarm? Because I was worried about that for some reason when I heard that story. And so let's end with that. Let's take a look. Are drones coming for California, or is it a false alarm? Although that would be a direct hit, and I just read that it might not be successful. But the question is, are they coming? Is this part of the plan? Is this a legitimate thing that could transpire? I mean, this is a legitimate thing that could transpire. The Hermit is reversed. So that's a sense of extreme isolation. So I kind of feel like this is in reference to the distance. There is a lot of isolation. There's a lot of distance. For some reason, they're showing me physical distance, even though that's not the symbolism of this card. But I feel like that's something it's moving against them. It probably has something to do with transporting the drones or trying to get them in position where they could do that. But there is a battle here, like with the Knight of Pentacles. They are moving step by step, trying to move in this direction to make something happen. And at the last minute, the walking away from battle, the Five of Swords, where we were trying to move toward this end, but we have to back away from that. And why are we backing away from that? Well, because they're fortified. It's like as if California they're showing me like an old, fort, but I feel like I'm in the 1600s, like with the wooden fences, kind of like showing here, but they're showing me like those early forts from the early settlers. But I think that's just symbolic of they're fortified. There are protections. There are things in place where that wouldn't be successful for California. So whatever they were planning to try to work out the distance or try to make something, so they have to back away from this idea. And we're going to be protected. So it's not a false alarm, because I feel like there's some truth to that energy, truth to that story, but it's been foiled in a sense. They're ahead of the game. They know that it's coming, and so they're not going to try it. So thank God, because I haven't read on that. So thanks for that question. So everybody, that's the tea, everybody. And before I close out, oh wait, there's some super stickers here. I didn't even see this. Heather, thank you so much for the super sticker. I so appreciate you. And I just want to make sure I didn't forget anyone else. Good. And Heather, thank you so much. And I just wanted to remind everyone that my documentary or docuseries, Series 1, Episode 1, is going to air on Sunday. The members will get to see it on Saturday. So it will be released for members on Saturday, and then on Sunday for the general public. And the first episode of Awakened, the birth of a YouTube spiritual community, is called The Gathering. And it is going to give some background on my subjects. It's going to show how people, and especially readers, moved into place in 2016 during the first Trump election, people's spiritual backgrounds and sort of how they got to this place where they could be part of our community. And you're going to see a bunch of diverse backgrounds from the subjects that I interviewed, and then the moments in the world before the lockdown and where everyone was and what people's perspective was on the world before that moment. The first episode will end at lockdown. That's another episode, but I think that the first one will give you a good background on where we're going with the docustory. So I hope you take a look. I always appreciate your support. And with that said, I will cue the music. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with all your friends. I appreciate you as always. It's always a pleasure reading for you. I hope you have a good week. Fingers crossed. For all the things, because this is going to be a hard week. I can just feel it. You have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.